The best camera that you have isn't the most expensive one, but rather it's the one that you master. And in this 3-part video series, I partnered with Sandmarc in order to show you how to capture cinematic footage with your phone. So for this video, I went straight into the heart of LA, and despite how difficult it may have been initially, I put away my main shooter and I just focused on shooting on my iPhone XR with these Sandmarc lenses. And I'll be honest, initially I wasn't expecting a whole lot from these lenses, but spoiler alert, I was impressed. So I slapped on one of those super nice cases that are included with all the lenses, took my best looking Asian friend into the city, and we filmed everything that we could. I do, however, feel like it's important to say that a lot of this applies to both photo and video, so more than anything, it's about developing your eye for what looks good. So we'll start with photo and gradually progress into video. So tip number 1, use foreground. Foreground's so important for multiple reasons. 1, it creates depth in your shot, so it automatically makes it more interesting. But more than that, it allows your audience to feel more immersed in whatever it is that you're trying to depict. Tip number 2, look for interesting angles. I mean, just because you think you've got a good shot doesn't mean that it can't get better. Experiment, switch lenses, look straight up. There's so many different angles that you can approach things to give them an interesting look. Even if at first it feels like you don't have the right angle, keep experimenting, you'll find it. Tip number 3 is to record at high frame rates. Smartphone cameras are slow-mo beasts nowadays. A lot of them offer 120 frames per second or 240 frames per second at 1080p, but some of them even offer 4K at 60 frames per second. So all that means is that you can take this footage into your video editor and slow the footage down so that it's super smooth and it's still crisp. And all it requires is a little bit of editing, which I will be covering in part 2, so make sure to subscribe. Now, look at this sandwich. This was shot on a phone. Tip number 4, go outside. These little sensors that they've got on these cameras are really, they're incredible, but they are still little sensors. And if you remember what photography or videography is, it really is just manipulating light so that you can get your desired image. So you need a lot of light to produce these images. And what's a better light source than that beautiful Cali sun? And now finally, tip number 5. Now this might sound super cliche, but your attitude is highly reflected in the way that you shoot. So just go out and have fun. Zapatos. Those are pretty fly. I kind of would wear those. So that just about wraps up part 1. Part 2, we're going to cover editing and some cool little tricks that you can do, but tell me what you guys would think about a little vlog. Here's some footage with the Sandmarc fisheye lens. Enjoy. So you can get that corny like walking shot.
I love those shots, dude. I don't know if you've seen like my Instagram. I've made so many GoPro videos.
No, I haven't seen that at all. Actually, no, I haven't seen any of that.
It's like,
Sorry.
yeah, basically, at least 50 of them can be.
Wait, hold on.